The pace.
Frequent covers on the challenge.
See if she can get Rhea in a little bit of a whirlwind, a little bit of
Finn Balor hints Liv Morgan isn't entirely in the Judgment Day following WWE RAW. Finn Balor might have dropped the biggest shocker of the week following WWE RAW. The former Universal Champion has seemingly hinted that Liv Morgan isn't entirely in the Judgment Day and also explained the reason behind it. Last year, Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest were betrayed by Dominik Mysterio and Finn Balor, respectively, at SummerSlam. Morgan and Carlito subsequently replaced the Terror Twins in the group on WWE RAW following the event. Later, Raquel Rodriguez returned at Bad Blood 2024 and aligned with Liv in her fight against Mami. However, Finn Balor recently hinted at something pretty out of the blue while talking about Liv Morgan. In an appearance on Raw Recap, the hosts asked Balor about Morgan's status in the Judgment Day. The Prince shockingly hinted that she might not be in the group entirely, adding that the Guerrero was only around because the two had an understanding and wanted the faction to succeed. You know, Liv's been in a bit of a tricky situation since she, kind of, showed up. But we've an understanding, albeit a very delicate and fragile understanding. But I feel like we have an understanding of doing what's best for the Judgment Day, and that's, maybe, sometimes where we clash, is that I have my opinions, which I feel I'm entitled to, 20+ years in the game, he said. Liv has her own experience and opinions, and her experience isn't even close to mine. So sometimes you've got to put those people in their place. Liv Morgan tried to stir the pot between Finn Balor and Dominik Mysterio on WWE RAW. Last month, Dominik Mysterio went out of his way and got Finn Balor an Intercontinental title match against reigning champion Braun Breaker. However, the Prince failed to dethrone the unpredictable badass. On the latest edition of WWE RAW, the Latino Cheat and the Prince defeated Breaker and Penta in a tag team match. After the match, things seemingly took a turn after they regrouped with the Judgment Day. Finn was ecstatic following the win, and the 43-year-old told his stablemates that he'd go to Adam Pearce in the hopes of getting another shot at Braun's title. However, after Balor left, Liv Morgan was furious that the former Universal Champion took all the credit for the win and asserted that he didn't deserve another title opportunity. When Dominik disagreed, the 30-year-old asked him to see things clearly. Liv also stated she would talk to Pearce after Balor was done. It will be fascinating to see what the future holds for the heel faction on WWE RAW. Finn Balor takes a subtle shot at Liv Morgan following WWE RAW. Things are not fine between Finn Balor and Liv Morgan on WWE RAW, as the two have different ideas for the Judgment Day. Today, the former Universal Champion took a subtle shot at Morgan while talking about his recent achievement. On the latest edition of Monday Night Raw, the Prince also took a shot at Raquel Rodriguez, who failed to capture the Women's Intercontinental Championship from Lyra Valkyria. Later in the night, Finn Balor and Dominik Mysterio defeated Braun Breaker and Penta in a tag team match, with Balor scoring the winning pinfall. In an appearance on Raw Recap hosted by Sam Roberts and Megan Morant, the Prince talked about his pinfall win over Penta. During this, he took a subtle shot at Liv Morgan by asking Roberts if he doubted the Prince like Morgan does all the time. "Sounds like you're doubting me, Sam Roberts." "You sound a little bit like Liv Morgan," Balor said. Liv Morgan tried to stir the pot between Finn Balor and Dominik Mysterio on WWE RAW. 2025 hasn't been a good year for the Judgment Day, as things have not been going according to their liking on WWE RAW. Since J.D. McDonough's injury, Finn Balor has become isolated in his faction. This often leads to him lashing out at others, especially Dominik Mysterio. However, Liv Morgan isn't ready to let this happen and wants Dirty Dom to stand up for himself. On the recent edition of WWE RAW, it looked like Liv Morgan tried to stir the pot between Mysterio and Balor after the two returned backstage following their win against Braun Breaker and Penta. While the Prince was happy about their win, he referred to it as his win and talked about his momentum heading into WrestleMania 41. As soon as he left, Liv Morgan pointed out to Dominik Mysterio that Balor's been thinking about himself, and she'll have a word with Adam Pearce about a title shot after he's done. "Sounds like you're doubting me, Sam Roberts." "You sound a little bit like Liv Morgan," Balor said. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, trauma bonding. With fellow WWE star following Raw, Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan bonded over trauma with a fellow WWE star following Raw. The Judgment Day Stars are the reigning women's tag team champions and won the title by defeating Bianca Belair and Naomi last month. The company is currently on its Europe tour, and its next stop is Italy. Following last night's Raw in Belgium, women's tag team champions and Kathy Kelly are currently in Rimini, Italy, where they did laundry but couldn't find a cab afterward. Kelly revealed that they had 2 taxis cancelled on them, and they were bonding through trauma. Morgan then admitted that she does not feel more bonded to the backstage interviewer, and Kelly humorously responded by claiming she was only walking with the Judgment Day Stars so she didn't get kidnapped. True trauma bonding experience, walking in the cold, had 2 taxis canceling on us, Kathy Kelly said. I don't feel more bonded to you though, Morgan replied. The only reason I'm going back with you guys is because I don't want to get kidnapped, Kelly added. Liv Morgan interrupted an interview with Jade Cargill this past Friday night on WWE SmackDown. The 2 stars will be squaring off in a singles match this week on the Blue brand. Former WWE star reveals she would like to battle Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. WWE legend Layla recently disclosed that she would love to return to the company to battle women's tag team champions Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. Layla used to be in a popular tag team with Michelle McCool, and the duo was known as Laycool. In an interview with Nick Club Wrestling Happy Hour, the former women's champion was asked who she would like to square off against on today's roster. She named Chelsea Green, Piper Niven, Liv Morgan, and Raquel Rodriguez as potential opponents for Laycool. I would love to face Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. I would because I think that would be a good match. But you know what, even Liv and Raquel, even that, it would be hilarious. I think Laycool could make it work with any of the girls right now in the tag team division if that's something that they would ever want to do. I think it would work. We'd make it work, how about that? We'd make it work, she said. Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan are in their 3rd reign as women's tag team champions. It will be interesting to see if the Judgment Day Stars defend the title next month at WWE WrestleMania 41. Liv Morgan shares Judgment Day update without key member Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez are the reigning women's tag team champions and Dominik Mysterio is her boyfriend. JD McDonough is currently absent from television but surprisingly remains on Liv's good side. But what about Finn Balor? On Raw, Finn Balor locked horns with Intercontinental Champion Braun Breaker in an attempt to win the prestigious belt. However, the Prince failed. Dirty Dom interfered in his favor, but Mysterio inadvertently cost Balor's chances when he delayed the former Universal Champion from capitalizing on the situation. Taking to Instagram, Liv Morgan shared a snap with Raquel Rodriguez. They were standing in front of a graffiti-filled wall. Each member of the Judgment Day was mentioned on the wall, with Balor and Carlito being excluded. While the former United States champion has always been portrayed as an outsider in the group, Finn Balor is the oldest remaining member. The former Universal Champion has been at odds with Dirty Dom of late, but the latter has made attempts to work things out. However, after Balor's loss to Breaker and Mysterio's involvement, could an implosion be on the way? The Judgment Day may be out of the Intercontinental Championship picture for now, as Penta stopped their attack on Braun Breaker post-match. Breaker and Penta stood face-to-face to end the show, potentially foreshadowing a title match at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas on April 19-20. Are Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez in for a nightmare at WWE WrestleMania 41? Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez won the Women's Tag Team Championships on Raw a few weeks ago. But they currently do not have challengers for WWE's biggest show of the year. A fan sent a message to her on social media, claiming that Nikki Cross is calling out the former Women's World Champion. She retorted by expressing that if it came down to them in the ring, she would beat Cross. Interestingly, a major angle involving the Wyatt Six was reportedly considered for Alexa Bliss at WrestleMania in Las Vegas. Perhaps Morgan's mistake involving the Wyatt Six foreshadowed a tag team contest on the grandest spectacle. Only time will tell. Meanwhile, Asuka is reportedly penciled in to work a tag team match at the Show of Shows. If she is back in time with Kairi Sane, then the Kabuki Warriors could also issue a challenge to the champions.